of liberty. I do want to recognize a few people who have been strong supporters of me personally as well as the cause of liberty. I would like to thank Donald, especially Donald Hoffman, for my introduction and for his support. Donald not only has been a good close friend along with his family, but he's been a friend of liberty. He's also been a very good friend to the Republican Party and the Republican Party of Texas, and he deserves a lot of thanks. Also, I have a few members of my family here, and they're sort of scattered about. And my wife is here, Carol, and I have my wife stand up as well with the family. And also, there's somebody in this audience that's been a friend of liberty and has played an important role in county politics here, and that is Jennifer Hall. I want to congratulate her. And there's a state representative that has been especially interested in the details and the bringing about liberty in this state. And because of a campaign 4 years ago, he got interested, ran a shoestring type of campaign, won it. He's a state representative now, and he is fantastic. And he will stand up to big government, and that is David Simpson. Also, it looks like he will be joined this year from this area, another state representative that I think so as they've seen, and that is Jonathan Stickland, who won his primary race. So congratulations. But it is a real delight to be here and visiting with enthusiastic individuals who really are concerned about our future. I was asked to talk about uniting the party as well as balancing the budget. And that's a challenge in itself. You know, we've been working on that for a few years. The very first time I got interested in this was only 39 years ago, you know. And my enemies, my political enemies, says, yeah, you've been working at it for 39 years, and look at it, look at where the deficit is right now. Well, I'll tell you what, I was voting on the short end of most of the votes, and maybe that's one of the reasons why we haven't balanced the budget. So, uniting is one thing, uniting is very important, but you have to ask the question, what are you going to unite around? If you unite around No Child Left Behind, if you unite behind expanding the Department of Education, expanding Medicare benefits, if you unite behind the things that cost money, what good is it? So sure, we want to be united, but we have to unite on the right principles. And if you get confused on what the right principle is and what the position should be, why should we all just unite behind the Constitution? Last week there was a little bit of uniting going on, and it wasn't even just meant to show that uniting and compromise and getting together was a Republican issue, but the newspapers, especially in Washington, D.C., explain how wonderful it is. They finally are working together. They got together, the Republican leadership and Democratic leadership got together, and they passed this $140 billion export-import bank loan, which is nothing more than corporate welfare. So compromising, getting together to spend more money is what our problem has been. We have to get people together to cut the spending. I don't know why we can't get together and agree that we get rid of foreign aid. We're just saying the Constitution and we vote for foreign aid. But there's one place where we have gotten real progress in the Republican Party, as well as building coalitions on the opposition, It's been a consequence of a lot of hard work and effort by thousands of people, many good economists over the last many decades. And that is, we are making great progress in calling to task the Federal Reserve System and how they contribute to our economic growth. Where'd you get that idea anyway? But I tell you what, the Republican Party leadership in Washington is doing a very good job on this. There's been a bill floating around the Congress for a long time about auditing the Federal Reserve, which is the first step. And the Fed will come when it fails to function very well. They're getting awfully close to that. But the auditing Fed comes first, and there's this big coalition. Americans agree like 75–80% that the Congress should act responsibly and know exactly what the Fed is doing. This past week or two, the leadership on our side of the aisle announced that we will have a major vote on auditing the Fed in July of this year. And I predict, quite frankly, that it's going to pass, and I think we're going to have a lot of Democrats vote for it. You know, one time somebody asked me, who exactly are you running against? Well, who's the individual? Are you out to get Obama or just what? I said, I'm running against Keynes. And this is true. Keynesianism has infected our society over the past 50 years, and unfortunately, a Republican president in the early 70s says, we're all Keynesians now, as if we finally have arrived. Well, I'll tell you what, my goal is to make sure that we're not all Keynesians anymore, and that we all believe in a free market, sound money, and the Constitution. We're now living in the age of a transition away from Keynesianism, because Keynesianism is a modified version of central economic planning, and people think we could have this modification, reject the total free market, and reject total socialism, but total control through regulations and central banking is just as harmful and will bring the economy down. And that is what's happening to us today. It took a long time. We've lost 98% of the value of our currency since 1913 because of the Federal Reserve System. The major crisis that we even talked about back in the 70s, coming from the loss of the last linkage of our dollar to gold, that it would lead to the economic crisis we have today. And in the last 4 years, believe me, people are waking up. That is why we're getting attention on the Federal Reserve. We're in the transition. Keynesianism doesn't work. Communism, socialism didn't work. The great Austrian economist Mises predicted as early as 1912 that socialism would fail because it alters the important factor that you don't have a pricing structure. Under Keynesianism and under the system we have today, we don't have a pricing structure for interest rates, so that disrupts the economy. So it encourages the debt. We have a debt crisis, not in the United States, not just in our individual states, but worldwide. Greece is just a bare opening up of